First, we'll just start off with some quick background. MUZZY Online was created by the BBC in the UK 20 years ago. It was a breakthrough at the time, and it still is. It was the first language course where it was built on the premise that you did not have to know how to read or write to learn a language. So that's what, of course, has made it very popular with children and even families. So you do not have to know how to read or write to learn a language using MUZZY. With that said, on top of that, we have all sorts of reading and writing components with their exercises and games, as well as some activities. So it's a full language course, but at its core, you can literally learn a language just the way the children learn their first language, because they don't know how to read or write when they learn their first language, by being immersed in it. And through immersion and through the context of a fun, engaging story with all these fun characters here, through spiraling and repetition of words and concepts with visual cues, it just starts building upon itself, and the next thing you know, you start learning a language. MUZZY's been used in Europe for over 20 years. Again, it is the world's #1 language course for children, and millions of Europeans have learned English using MUZZY, so it makes a great ELL program for any newcomers to your library system. MUZZY's been in the States here for 15 years, used in home schools and libraries. Just kind of mix in a quick photo. That's a family photo. Just put that in there to put a face behind the voice. Real quick, it's really important what you're doing by bringing this program into your library system, especially because the world is 85% bilingual, yet here in the States only 19% is. The other big language trend in the U.S., of course, is we have millions of newcomers. 18% of America's children don't even speak English, so there's a big need for ESL and ELL. And it's the libraries that are really stepping up to the plate, especially with budget cuts in schools, et cetera, that are really coming in and helping their patrons and their families and the children in this community to participate and compete in this global world that's 85% bilingual. So MUZZY Online is the world's #1 language course for children. Here are the languages that your MUZZY Online has. Spanish is our most popular. French used to be our #2 most popular, but Mandarin Chinese now has become our 2nd most popular. And of course, we have ELL. We do have our traditional European languages, and most recently we introduced Russian and Portuguese. The big news in the world of MUZZY is next month we're releasing a brand new fully animated, just kind of Pixar-type 3D animation quality type MUZZY. And on this new platform, it's giving us the ability to add more languages. So later on during your subscription, later on this year, we'll be adding Japanese, Korean, in the works is Vietnamese, as well as Hindi. And this new technology allows us to add more and more languages. So as you continue your subscription with MUZZY Online, more of these languages will be added to your program. We started off with VHS programs with libraries, moved on to DVDs, and then we moved on to this online program. Many of the libraries still have our DVDs, and they work and complement the online program. So depending if you have some, great. If not, you might want to get a couple of the DVDs, at least of your most popular languages. So the name of our company is Early Advantage. We're all about introducing languages to children at a young age. It's very important, as we all know. It's the easiest time for anyone to pick up a language at that point of their lives. Children's brains are literally hardwired to pick up different languages. This MUZZY Online program that you're subscribing to is award-winning. It's received many awards over the years. And your patrons will have the ability to kind of network and participate in on our Facebook fan page with 80,000 fans, and growing. I think we're close to 100,000, so I must have to update the slide. So it's kind of neat because MUZZY is used in over 100 countries, so it's a very, very diverse landscape. All right, so before I get to the ins and outs of the MUZZY Online, I'm just going to give you a quick show and tell and share with you how MUZZY works. MUZZY's full of stories, and as we know, that's how children learn best. This big green smiling guy, this is MUZZY. He's an alien from another planet. The program and the story DVDs start off with, and the story videos actually, start off with MUZZY's spaceship landing in an enchanted kingdom called Gondoland. If you're going to learn Spanish, when MUZZY gets out of the spaceship, everyone is speaking Spanish. If you're going to learn Chinese, everyone is speaking Chinese. If it's learning English, everyone is speaking English. Being that Muzzy's from another planet, an alien, when he gets out of the spaceship, he doesn't speak the language. So Muzzy has to learn how to introduce himself, ask for things, use common phrases to get around. And as Muzzy learns the language, so does the children. Like any good children's story, there's a little bit of a love story in this. Here we have Princess Sylvie and Bob the gardener that fall in love. And every good story has some sort of troublemaker, and ours is a gentleman named Korvax. He's the scientist of the kingdom. Kids get a great big kick out of him. He's a little bit of a troublemaker, but because it is for children, he's not a scary bad guy, but more of a goofy, bubbling one. Has all sorts of great inventions you'll see throughout the story. Here he's scheming up using his cloning machine, and here in this vignette we're learning a little bit about counting, and then we're learning about colors. There's a level 2 in this subscription that you've signed up for. This is where Sylvie and Bob get married. They have a baby. In level 2, there's all sorts of adventure and action. And while this is happening, we're introducing more adverbs, adjectives, tenses, plurals, pronouns. So when the child finishes both level 1 and level 2, they have a really strong understanding of whatever language they're learning. All right. Lastly, in how Muzzy works, each lesson is the foundation for the next. Muzzy follows National Foreign Language Standards of Language Learning, which is all about spiraling and repetition, where words and phrases are used in one context and later on used in others. As an example of this, on this screen here, I've dropped 3 slides. Early in the story, the king will introduce us to peaches, to apples, all sorts of fruits and vegetables. That's one context. Later on, Sylvia will ask for these same fruits and vegetables. It's a different context, an example of spiraling and repetition. And then at the end of the story, there's a funny scene between Muzzy and a fruit vendor. And again, a different context, another example of spiraling and repetition. And this is a funny scene, and what makes it funny is Muzzy's more interested in the fruit vendor's watch than he is on the fruits and vegetables. And that's because on Muzzy's planet, the clocks and watches for food. So that's a funny underlying theme that happens throughout both level 1, and Muzzy's always on the hunt and lookout for clocks and watches. Okay, so this brings us to your subscription of Muzzy Online. Muzzy Online will work on-site at any of your locations. We'll recognize the IP. Anyone that's at your location, they will not have to key in their library card to use their program. They'll just have immediate access to the entire program, level 1, level 2, and all the languages. Now, the neat thing about an online subscription is you have remote access. So should someone be away from your library, all they have to do is go to your website, click on a link, put in their library card, and they'll have access to the entire program. Your subscription allows for as many users to be on at the same time, different levels, different languages, and our server can handle that. I do like to put this picture in my training sessions because even though Muzzy is the #1 language course for children, it's truly a program for the entire family. We have young children as young as 2, 3, and 4 that watch the immersion videos and the immersion vocabulary lessons. Then Muzzy makes a great support tool in schools where children can use Muzzy's games and exercises, which I'm about to share with you, to reinforce what they're learning in school. And then it works for the entire family. Adults love it too. If it's fun for kids, it's fun for adults. It's visual. And we have many adults that choose to start learning languages with Muzzy and then work and graduate up to a traditional adult language course. And lastly, on this subject, a lot of families, let's say they're newcomers to the States, we find they like to learn English together as a family. So it makes a great program for the entire family as an ELL product. And this is a part of the preview where GoToMeeting is just not fast enough to keep up with the animation, the characters speaking in different languages and such. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to walk you through some still slides. Just know that Muzzy Online is fully animated. There will be songs, music, and all the characters speak in different languages. New to Muzzy Online that's not in our DVDs that are currently in libraries is we've added over 190 games and exercises. And we've done this in each and every language, so it's a very, very robust program. So this is the main screen where it all starts and happens. I happen to be in English here, level 1. Up here on the upper right is a drop-down menu. At any time, you can just go up there. You can use the drop-down menu. You can change from English to Spanish to French to German to Italian. So no worries there. So it's easy to just change languages. Here you have access to level 1 and level 2. Help is here at any time for you. Big easy buttons make it easy to navigate through the program. The beauty of MUZZY Online is you as librarians, you will not be really giving any tech support. Kids really get the program. We designed it for children. It's designed the way a child will use a program. And what that means is this is all built around the Montessori teaching approach. We're all about engaging the child, fostering curiosity, and really just kind of motivating and helping them to learn the way they like to learn best. And what that means is different than, let's say, an adult language course where it's very linear based. We've designed this along the Montessori approach. And that means you can use the program in order. You can go to level 1, go to lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3, and you can use the program in order. But we find most children won't do it that way. They may start here at greetings, then maybe they get to asking for things, but then they may get a little stuck there, so they'll just jump down here and they'll want to learn a little bit about months and seasons. Then they'll want to go over here and learn about how to say how you feel. That's okay. We designed the program that way. All these little modules build upon themselves, so you can jump around the program between the lessons and the levels. And what that does is the child stays engaged in the program instead of getting frustrated if they get stuck at one little spot. So the net effect is they continue using the program and learn a language. Up here in the upper right, this is what we call movie time with MUZZY. It's set in a theater-like setting. This is where a lot of people do like to start. Let's say you're going to learn Spanish first, for example. You might watch the entire storyline in English first, get a gist for the characters and the plot, and then come back and watch the entire story in Spanish, or vice versa if you want to learn English. All these movies, they play on iPads, tablets, smartphones, and iPhones, so you can take MUZZY wherever you want to go. This is where a lot of your younger patrons, the ones that can't read or write or use the computer games, spend a lot of time. And you can literally learn a language just with these immersion videos and vocabulary lessons. This was the original program that was created 20 years ago. And from there, we've added on all the games and exercises for a complete language program. Now, this is an example how we work with the subtitles and the audio. In this scene here, we're learning Spanish. All the characters are speaking Spanish. Here, I click this placard here, and up come the subtitles in Spanish. Hit this placard here, up come the subtitles in English. I can hit this placard here, and the subtitles go away. I can play the entire story and hear all the characters speaking in Spanish. I can move the toggle slide bar back or hit the reverse toggle here. Drop the audio toggle down here. I can change to English. So you can kind of mix and match between the subtitles and the audio for a complete language learning experience. I can hit this button here. This becomes full screen, and the whole backdrop disappears. Now I've changed. I'm in French. I'm in level 2. This is the second part of the story when Sylvia and Bob get married, have a baby. All sorts of adventure and action is happening in this level 2 part of the program. And here we're learning about adverbs and quantities and irregular verbs, making comparisons. So when you finish level 1 and level 2, you have a really strong understanding of whatever language you're learning. So next what we're going to do, we're going to drill down a little bit. There are 2 levels to MUZZY, and then in each level, there's 6 major lesson themes. And then in each lesson theme are 25 to 30 smaller lessons that support that broader lesson theme. So if we were to start here, level 1, go to lesson 1. We click on this over here. We're brought to this screen. Every lesson has 3 modules. The first module is what we call watch and play. This is where those 25 to 35 lesson modules reside. We're early in the program, so here we're going to learn how to greet people. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to greet people at different times of the day. Here we're going to learn our first verb. Here we learn our first adjectives. Click on this hand here, and we get to more lessons. That's how a typical lesson works. Let's say we go up here. We hit the top icon. We're brought to this module. This is watch and play. We're going to learn greetings first. So the first thing we do is we watch a 3 to 5 minute video. This is early in the story when MUZZY's spaceship lands in Gondoland. The royal family comes out and they introduce themselves to MUZZY. This is where we'd use those subtitle and those audio features I just shared with you. And then supporting this greeting video is a game all about greetings. So the game supports the video lesson. This is the first game of 190 games. Being that it's the first game, it's the easiest game. As you work your way through the games get progressively harder. All sorts of fun games. There's interactive games, matching games, coloring games, all supporting and working hand in hand with the video lessons. All the games have Korvax here in the upper right. Since he's the scientist of the kingdom and so smart, at any time you just click on Korvax and he's there to help you if you get stuck in the game. Now do note again, when you have your MUZZY Online up and running, this will all be completely animated. There'll be music and the bugs will be buzzing back and forth and the clouds will be moving, and of course the characters will be animated and speaking in different languages. Okay, so we just watched that video. This game supports that video on greetings. So behind each of these windows is a character. They'll open the window, and our job is to match the correct character with the correct greeting. By watching the video, we know that this is the queen. For this example, we're not going to select the queen. We're going to get the wrong one. But before I do that, we're in French, and you'll note the different ways that we can start an expression here. So let's say we selected Princess Sylvia, and this is the queen. If you select the wrong greeting, you lose one of these game pieces on the lower left. So the object of the game is you want to match the correct character with the correct greeting before all these game pieces disappear. Should you not successfully do it before all the game pieces disappear, poor Bob and Muzzy's balloon deflates. They're a little sad, a little bummed out. But no worries. Just repeat the exercise. That's how we all learn. You might go back. You might watch that video again. Use those subtitle and audio features that I shared with you, and then come back to the game. When you come back to the game, you'll note that the characters are mixed around. The queen is now down here. Now this time we're doing much better. We're matching the correct character with the correct greeting. And when we do that, we still have our game pieces down here. This time we select the correct greeting with the correct character. When we do that, we'd hear the character say this in French. And then we'd be congratulated by Bob and Muzzy for a job well done. Now that's the first game of 196 games. As you work through the program, again, they get progressively harder. They're all fun, they're all interactive, and they support the video lesson. So now we're still in the first lesson. All the lessons have 3 modules. We just looked at watch and play. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to words and games. This is the vocabulary part of the program. We're early in the program, so we'll learn about our first numbers 1 through 10 here. In future lessons, we'll learn about numbers 11 through 20, 21 through 30. In future lessons, we'll learn about colors, we'll learn about time, transportation, things around the home, school, hundreds and hundreds of vocabulary words. And this is how a typical vocabulary lesson works. We click on that icon there. First thing we do is we'd watch a short video, and this is all about animals. We'd see the animal, we'd hear the animal's name said in that language, and up would come the subtitles as well. And then matching this immersion video lesson is a game, another game. This actually has 2 games supporting the video lesson. If we're going to go to this game here, we're brought to this screen. Again, Korvax is always up here on the upper right, ready to help us out. Our game pieces are always here on the lower left. They just changed from flags to bumblebees to kind of match the theme of this game. Here, all the animals that we just saw in that video, their names are going to appear on the bottom section, and our job is to just drag it on the appropriate animal. When you do this to turtle, you hear the word tortue, which is French for turtle, and then he jumps in the water, makes a big splash. Canard is French for duck. You hear the word canard, he quacks and flies and scares the tiger up here. All sorts of fun words and matching, and all this is all animated, and these animals are milling around. If you put a penguin on the wrong animal, it just bounces back and you lose a game piece over here. The penguin is hiding over here. Again, just another example of the games. They're all fun, they're all interactive, and they support the video lessons. And then the last module that's in every single lesson is what we call more practice. Here we've added over 480 downloadable printable files. MUZZY's taught in preschools and elementary schools. These are the teacher handouts. Teachers love them because they work, and kids love them because they're fun. Here we're learning about numbers, and we're learning about animals. These printables can be printed out at your library, your branches, and your patrons, of course, can print them out at home, and they print out in black and white or color. Here we do a little color by numbers, and as we're coloring by numbers, we learn about colors in different languages. Again, there's hundreds and hundreds of these activities. We got a little arts and crafts activity here for Make Pretend. You can bring these activities right into your library and kind of build weekly themes or monthly themes about different languages. There's a fun activity in Spanish where you learn about, it's a song about colors and numbers, and part of that activity is you make maracas out of paper cups, dried beans, and popsicle sticks. So you'll note that, all children and adults too, we all learn different ways, and there's all different visual, auditory learners, touch and feel learners. So if you look back on this quick preview of MUZZY Online, we have the immersion videos, we have the games for reading and writing, and I like to think of these activities as where language learning comes out of the computer screen into the child's life, into the library, into the home, and just kind of makes it real. All sorts of cooking activities, like let's say in Italian, you make an Italian meal, you learn the colors of the food in that language, the verbs associated with cooking. So we try to make this program is just full and robust as possible that, again, taps into all the different learning modalities. Depending on your role at the library, actually everyone will have access to it through the admin screen. You'll get to see how your patrons are doing. You'll get to see what levels they're using, what languages, what time of the day they're using the program, how often they're using the program. All sorts of great statistics there to show the success of the program. I happen to have two roles here. The first is to give these, I give previews as well as these training seminars. And my other job is I work with my associates here. We work with anyone that may be on this call or others to make sure that when you get to this admin panel, you see nothing but big bars and you don't see any little bars. The little bars make us sad. Big bars make us happy. We know that everyone's using the program then. So we're all about making sure that the program is being used. So soon the appropriate people will receive information from us, from a gentleman named Nick Ward. What he'll do is he'll give you best practices on the best spots to put the links up on your website. We'll get you out as many posters and puppets for your main branch and all your other branches as well. Build little displays. We have little, we make customized flyers with your URL so that the kids and the moms and dads can grab the little items and bring them home and be reminded to use the program, and we have bookmarks as well. So that's primarily the bulk of it right now. I do want to call up one other screen here just to show you, again, the big news in the world of MUZZY is that in July we're going to start rolling out. It's going to be a rollout, and in that we are going to release this new MUZZY. So this right here on the lower left, this is the MUZZY that's been out there for a while. This is the MUZZY that, if you're trialing it the next week or so, is still there. You'll note the new dramatically upgraded graphics here. You'll see that MUZZY has a bag of clocks here. That's the equivalent of us having a bag of potato chips, because remember, MUZZY likes to eat clocks and watches. So as he's traveling the world, he's always munching on his clocks and watches. So again, some more before and after photos. This really shows that new Pixar 3D look over here. Another image or two. Again, on this, after this call, we will forward you. If you haven't seen it, we'll get you a highlight reel so you can see all this animation in play, as well as a different type of demo similar to what I'm giving now that kind of walks you through the various parts of the program. And as subscribers, we're continuing to update it. Here's a sneak peek of some of the modules that will be adding on later on this summer. We're adding a scavenger hunt. We've been asked to add more cultural lessons, so we're putting all sorts of, this would be for your older children, so we bring a lot of culture into language learning and kind of bridge the two together. We have a nice listen and learn with MUZZY game that will be released later on this summer. And all this is released to you automatically. We'll send you a little email saying, hey, this, and this has just been added. It's at no extra charge. It's all part of your subscription. Here, this is for your younger learners who can't read. You just click on an item, and MUZZY will say that item in that language, and you can even hook up a microphone and you can repeat back and forth with MUZZY and get a feel on how you're doing in that language. So that's the training of the new MUZZY. Should anyone have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, and I will also open up my little dialogue box for some of those people if they need to chat.
This is Laura again. And I just wanted to say this was a great presentation, and I look forward to getting the recording.
Oh, great.
And then, of course, the links that I can share with our staff members. The other question I had, and I'm not sure if you can answer it, with the new changes in terms of the Pixar-like look, is the marketing material going to be updated too?
Yes, absolutely. Yep, it's already in the works.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I was looking at the buttons for the web, and I wanted to put one on, and they still have that older look. But I can also talk to Nick Ward and see if there's something more updated.
Yep. Yep, they're not ready yet. He works in my same office with me, but I think you might want to just start with what we have right now, and then just we'll roll it out when we're ready.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we won't make anything live until July 1st.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? And of course, we're always here to help. Again, that's my primary role here, as well as my associates.
Hello, hi, this is Suha.
Hello.
Hi, I have a question. Actually, I typed through the chat.
Oh, okay.
And you mentioned that this software is also good for adults.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I wonder, do you have a plan to develop more advanced levels?
For the moment, no. I will say that when you finish both level 1 and level 2, you have a really strong basis that could allow you to graduate to maybe a more adult-like program. But for the moment, we're focusing more on just adding more languages. And as far as advanced levels, I don't see that for at least another year or so. Okay. All righty. Does anyone else have any other questions? All righty. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, Laura, for organizing the call.
Thank you. Yes, we'll see you then. I have some other dates scheduled.
Great. Yes.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much, and we really congratulate you for your enthusiasm for bringing language learning to the children and family of your library system.
Great. Thank you.
And I see Allison saying thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Laura.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
So the other webinar we have is about what? Next week. Next week. It's about